What do you remember about the 1985 Patriots? 40 years later, we're going back to tell the story of the first Patriots team to make it to a Super Bowl, a special team that blazed a pathway that we much traveled over the next 4 decades. Hear from the players and coaches, as well as the sounds from television and radio that define the season, as we uncover what made this a Patriots team to remember, even if they didn't win a Super Bowl championship.
After a stop by Tippett. Annihilate him might be a better word.
Rolling out to the right side, avoiding the pressure. On the run, he throws. Complete for a touchdown. Lynn Dawson in the end zone. 6 points, Patriots. Touchdown, Patriots. Tony Collins, the Patriots have the lead.
I'm Mike Dussault, and this is a Patriots Super Bowl Sound Odyssey, 1985. Episode 5, The Push.
And it's New England still in first place as they beat Chuck Knox's Seahawks 20-13.
The Patriots were streaking at 8-3. They'd won 6 straight as they headed to the Meadowlands to face the 8-3 Jets with the AFC division lead on the line.
So New England will open up on offense, and this is the quarterback, Steve Grogan, in his 11th year. Holloway, Hanna, Morris, Wooten, and Moore. That is the offensive line from tackle to tackle. Stanley Morgan, a hamstring problem, so that means that Jones will start in place of him. Dawson is the tight end, and of course Irving Fryer, the other wide receiver.
But the game and season would quickly take an unfortunate turn.
And Grogan was dumped hard on that play. Remember, he's got knee problems, has had a number of knee operations, and he is gingerly leaving the field. But that's something we'll have to watch.
Steve Grogan, who had been the spark that ignited the win streak, exited the game with a broken leg, opening the door for the season's original starter, Tony Eason.
Now, with Grogan giving support from the sidelines, the whole season rode on Tony Eason's right arm.
Eason, just recovered from his own shoulder injury, entered the game for the first time since September, but surprisingly showed little rust.
The offense as a whole made a lot of progress. Steve put in a lot of things in terms of quantity and quality, and I think the offense made a lot of growth during that time period.
Down 13-3 at the start of the fourth quarter, Eason took a page from Grogan's comeback playbook, orchestrating 2 scoring drives to tie the game. First with a big passing play to Cedric Jones.
To the end zone, it's there! Touchdown! Cedric Jones! 29 yards, and the Patriots right back in the ball game.
Still down 13-10, Eason and the Patriots offense took over with 1:17 left in the game. After a 26-yard pass to tight end Derek Ramsey, Craig James rushed for another 14 yards to set up Tony Franklin with a 28-yard field goal attempt to send the game to overtime.
28 yards, or Eason Hole.
That's a
Eason the holder. It's there from 28 yards away. And we are tied at 13-13 with now 16 seconds.
In overtime, the teams traded 2 punts each. And that's when special teams, a strength of the Patriots team all season long, allowed a 46-yard punt return all the way to their own 15-yard line. The Jets kicked the field goal and took the win, along with the lead in the division. Final score, Jets 16, Patriots 13.
The Jets defeat New England 16-13, and the Patriots are snake bit in overtime. They are the only NFL team never to have won an overtime game. They are now 0-8.
Cedric Jones still remembered the streak-breaking loss to the Jets, but Pete Brock said the team still had confidence in Eason, despite the early season interceptions and sacks that mired the offense out of the gate.
That game was tough for us. Losing Grogan, we fought back, we thought we'd win the game, and you look and back after play, he's on the ground holding his leg. And, Tony was a great quarterback, but Grogan was so hot at that time, We thought we'd run it, but Tony came back in, his shoulder and thumb got better and better, and, he had some big plays that drove us down, but that was a tough loss for us, Very tough loss.
Steve Grogan got us into a position to be successful, and had to rely on Tony Easton to take it from there, and Tony did a great job. So at what point do you make that change? But Steve was our quarterback, and it was, fortunate that we had the talent of Tony Eason to be able to pick up where he kind of left off.
On this dark November evening, Raymond Berry witnessed both the end of the streak and the loss of the player most responsible for it.
The win streak was over. They were 8-4, and once again, it was Eason's team. And with 4 games remaining, it would be up to him to get the Patriots back on the playoff path.
And now Tony Eason and the New England Patriots will start at the Colts 36. Can Tony Eason do the job? Replacing Steve Grogan. Grogan is here, by the way, on crutches. He is here as an inspiration to his teammates.
December 1st, Indianapolis. The Patriots needed a bounce back against a Colts team that they had beaten 34-15 just 3 weeks earlier.
Glenn, this is going to be an important matchup today. What the Colts do best is run the ball. Unfortunately for them, the Patriot defense is very stingy against the run.
Getting their first touchdown in the first quarter in 8 games was a nice way to start.
30-second clock is down to 2. Eason throwing, touchdown to Irving Fryer.
Eason continued to have success through the air as the game developed into a back-and-forth affair, with New England doing just enough to stay in front of a Colts offense that came to play inside their Hoosier Dome.
Eason over the middle. Morgan puts his head down. Touchdown.
He smelled the end zone, Lynn.
3rd and 14 from the 25. Eason going for all of it. Morgan grabbed it for a touchdown and hits the wall.
What a throw and catch.
Eason threw for 293 yards and 3 touchdowns with just 1 interception, while longtime special teams stalwart Mosi Tutupu closed out the win with a fourth-quarter touchdown that made it 38-24 late in the fourth quarter.
It's back to Tupu. He's got it. And Eason will run over to congratulate Mosi Tutupu on his first touchdown of the season.
Tutupu was one of the unsung heroes of the 1985 Patriots. An 8th-round draft pick in 1978, Tutupu saw over 100 carries at running back in 1982 and 1983, developing a bigger role as a key special teams player, a skill that would carry his career all the way to the 1990s. Tutupu still made some key contributions on offense, doing more of the dirty work on short yardage situations with Robert Weathers.
Mosi Tutupu, what a tremendous short yardage name that is. It has a ring to it. Tutupu, one of the better short yardage carriers in the league, and he has a 3.8 yard per carry average.
But he made his biggest contributions for special teams coach Dante Scarnecchia.
Well, we had a great bunch of guys. Mosi Tutupu was our special teams captain and one of the really great players in Patriot history. He really needs to be in the Patriot Hall of Fame. He's, one of the preeminent special teams players.
38 points was the highest scoring output of the season, as the balanced attack put it all together when they had to, led by an offensive line that set the tone up front.
Feeling most comfortable at offensive guard, Hanna's aggressive run blocking became his hallmark. This style of attacking the defense from the line position became infectious as Hanna and other members of the offensive line powered through the NFL's defensive opposition.
Pro Football Hall of Famer John Hanna was the leader of a group that consistently wore down defenses in 1985, allowing the Patriots to seal wins in the fourth quarter.
The whole thing about a running game is the defense allows you to keep the game close. And that way you can have a running game. And that 3-4 yards in a cloud of dust pays off. And then if you got guys that are willing to, give it everything they got at the beginning of the game, by the end of the game, most people aren't in, the defensive lines aren't in condition to last that long. So you wear them, like you say, you wear them down. If you're having 6, 9 play, 12 play drives all the time, you keep that defense on the field and you wear them out. And, it doesn't mean that you're not getting tired, but you're used to it.
The offensive line also made an impact at practice, getting rookie Garen Veras ready for a stellar finish to his first season, while the GM Patrick Sullivan watched Hanna lead the way in his final year.
The consistency of, I had to practice every day. I always tell people, coming into my rookie year and having to play pass rush against John Hanna every damn day of the season, was like, man, I get tired of getting my bell rung and keep fighting. But playing against guys like Ron Wooten and Brian Holloway and John Hanna, Steve Moore, all those guys down the line, it just prepared you to get ready.
John Hanna was just continued to play at a level of excellence that nobody had ever played at in that position in the history of the game. And to my view, nobody's even touched it since then.
My goal was very simple. I wanted to be the best offensive guard that ever played football. That was pure and simple.
1985 will be the final season of Hanna's Hall of Fame career, but he continued to play at an elite level, wrapping his 13 seasons with his 8th Pro Bowl and 7th first-team All-Pro selection.
The veteran John Hanna.
13 years out of Alabama, but that's the direction they'll go. Hanna, the All-Pro side of the Patriots line, the left side of their line, that's where they like to run the ball.
Back on track at 9-4, the Pats would return home and coast to a win over the Lions.
And this is the best Patriot defense, people tell us, in the history of the franchise, and that's some 26 years. They are aggressive, they are highly ranked, and you know what? They have those guys, especially at linebackers, the Steve Nelsons, the Andre Tippett's, who can make things happen.
The defense dominated, forcing 3 more takeaways. And the offense controlled the clock, with Craig James going over 1,000 rushing yards for the season, as the ground game tallied their third 200-yard rushing performance of the year.
3rd and 7 from the shotgun. Here's Eason. Eason will score. And he does. Eason from the shotgun formation. Throws into the end zone. Touchdown, New England. Ferguson back to pass. The blitz is on. Here comes Tippett. The ball is knocked loose. And Julius Adams comes up with it, and the Patriots have the ball.
Tony Collins having a good afternoon also. He is one of those 1,000-yard rushers that the Patriots have had. They've only had 3. Sam the Van Cunningham, Jim Nantz, Tony Collins, and soon to be Craig James.
James became the 4th Patriot to break the 1,000-yard mark.
Here's Craig James looking for 2 yards to get 1,000. He's got it and more. A standing ovation for Craig James, who has 94 yards rushing this afternoon. That puts him over the 1,000-yard mark for the year.
Paying off a late-round flyer draft pick Patrick Sullivan made after James had first chosen the USFL.
We drafted Craig James in the 6th round. And, you know, he was under contract to the Washington Federals. But we had a sense that we could get him out of that contract. We understood he was very close with Ron Meyer, who was our coach. And we understood from Ron that Craig really wanted out, wanted to be in the NFL. So picking up Craig James in the 6th round was a really great move for us.
James credited Dante Scarnecchia for helping him adjust to the scheme in New England.
Nothing against the system when I came in here as a rookie, but we had a really hard time, very complicated pass protection scheme. I've got Sam, or I've got strong safety, or I've got that. But if, then I've got that. When you get a football player thinking, you got problems, you got sacks. And so Scar cleaned that up. He just said, look, let's simplify this thing. Let's make sure we know who we're going to block. If you can't do that, then you can't be successful.
Craig is one of the great runners that I've ever been around. We had he and Eric Dickerson down at SMU. They shared the same position, and phenomenal backs, you know, and they could do it all. They could run, they could catch, they could run inside, they could run outside. And, you know, Craig was a big part.
The Lions' win was also the first start for rookie Garen Veras, who stepped up to replace veteran stalwart Ken Sims, one of the key injury losses of the season outside of the quarterback position. After earning the respect of veterans like Andre Tippett, Veras was ready for the challenge and continued to add to his stellar rookie sack stats.
Garen could have been a decathlon type athlete. That's how, and people don't realize that about him. I mean, the guy was everything in track and field along with football. And then on top of that, smart guy. He went to Stanford. And, you know, and probably one of the meanest, toughest SOBs you've ever been with. I mean, This is a guy I go to war with because I knew that, you know what, we're going to keep throwing hands until somebody falls down. And, you know, I know he ain't going to run off and leave me hanging by myself.
I really felt, and I think Coach prepared me well for that first start against the Detroit Lions. And I felt that I was ready to play. And, you know, it was just that culmination of learning the defense, learning the style of play, learning to be aggressive, learning to play smart. All those things provided me for that opportunity that I had against Detroit, my first start, and to keep it rolling, you know, after that. I really wanted to prove to the other guys on the team, the veterans, Nelly and all of them, that they weren't going to be let down by a rookie coming in who was undersized at 255 pounds and could play just as well or you know, play up to his ability. So that's really what I want to be. I want to be part of that team.
Final score 23-6. The Patriots were 10-4 and held their playoff fates in their own hands with 2 games to play, heading into a key divisional matchup at their own personal house of horrors. New England had the chance to win their first AFC East divisional title since 1978. But they'd have to do it in a place they hadn't won in almost 20 years, Miami's Orange Bowl.
We are delighted you are with us tonight. We think we could have a real stunner for you. Two football teams within the same division, the AFC East. They have been battling all season long. They are two hot football teams. The New England Patriots, with a win tonight, can clinch this division, and they have won 8 of their last 9 games.
December 19th, Monday Night Football. Patriots at Dolphins with a division title on the line.
There is something called a jinx over New England. That little black cloud, remember the little character in Little Abner? Every time the New England Patriots come to the Orange Bowl, they go away with a loss. The last time they won here was in 1966. They have lost 17 consecutive games here in the Orange Bowl.
It was a heavyweight fight. The Dolphins took a 7-0 lead, but Eason and the Patriots came right back on the next drive to keep pace.
Eason on first down puts it up. Fryer, beautiful. Beautiful timing. Eason to Fryer, touchdown. Paul Langford sprinting with Fryer, but it was absolutely perfectly timed out by Eason and Fryer.
But every Patriots score was matched by the Dolphins, even as the takeaway greedy Patriots defense kept New England within striking distance, with 4 takeaways to offset their 4 giveaways.
It is third down and 11 for the Dolphins. They have 42 seconds. Marino, the ball is loose. And it's still loose. And New England's going to get it back. Andre Tippett knocked it out of there. Tippett came all the way from behind Marino. Marino, I don't think even saw him. And he knocks it loose. And Barris comes up with the recovery. Eason looking for Fryer. And it'll be picked off. Glenn Blackwood goes up, comes down with it at the 5-yard line. The third Patriot turnover.
The Patriots were hanging by a thread in the fourth quarter. Down by 14 points when a critical sequence got them back into the game.
Second and 10, 27-yard line of New England. Collins. Good running by Collins. Now he checks off. And he finds Derek Ramsey. And Ramsey will have a first down near the 37-yard line of the Dolphins. A lot of pressure, and wide open is Tony Collins. Collins just ripped through tacklers down to about the 15-yard line. And this is where the noise really gets deafening down here. First and 15, Eason. Fine pass to Stanley Morgan. He takes it all the way down to the 5-yard line. Tutupu. Mosi Tutupu. Touchdown for New England.
Certainly used his blockers well that time. He slowed up, then cut back.
Hey, this is a tough New England team. They are mentally tough as well as physically tough.
4 big plays led to a Tutupu touchdown, closing the gap to 27-20 with just over 7 minutes to play. On the ensuing kickoff, New England special teams came through in the clutch.
Carter still on his feet. Oh, ball is loose, and the Patriots have it. And they're indicating touchdown. It was McSwain who provided the hit. Cedric Jones came up with the football, and they're mobbing Jones in the end zone.
Cedric Jones' kickoff fumble recovery touchdown tied the game, erasing a 2-score deficit in the matter of 2 plays.
We almost had it. I recovered a fumble. He did, yeah. On the kickoff, and scored, and we thought we had it, and then we lost it. It was deflating for us.
With the game tied, the Patriots defense held Miami to a field goal with 5 minutes to play, giving Eason and the offense a chance to win the game and the division with 1 touchdown drive. The offense started to move the ball on the ground, converting a 4th and 1 with Tupu while battering Miami with Collins and James. Then they took to the air, and Eason found Collins for 17 yards. At the Miami 34, New England was knocking on the door of a thrilling fourth-quarter comeback victory. With 1:06 left, Eason dropped back to pass.
A lot of time for Eason. He overthrows it. This time it will be picked off. Glenn Blackwood had another opportunity. He took no chances. He hook slid out of the 25-yard line. The pass intended for Derek Ramsey, and the Dolphins players are going bananas.
They'll go home like many teams have done since I've been in it, when I was playing, and they'll say, hey, we outplayed the Dolphins. It's a game we should have won, but we'll look at 3 or 4 mistakes that they made, and they said we blew the game. But you know what? That's been happening here in the Orange Bowl ever since Shula's been here.
And the other thing is, too, it's not all over for New England. They still have a shot at making the playoffs.
They got a tough one next week, Cincinnati. They can put points on the board.
The loss dropped the Patriots to 10-5. The AFC's divisional title was out of their reach, but the playoffs were not, and head coach Raymond Berry kept his team focused on that fact.
So the Monday night game, we lost. Berry gathers us all in the huddle, right in the locker room, and he looks at us, and that finger was broken, but he stood up and he started talking, and he said to us, he says, look, we've been delayed, but we will not be denied. We will see these guys again. And we're looking at him, what the hell is he talking about? That's the second game of the season. We're done. We're not going to do the season. I mean, they're off our schedule And we never thought about that again until it's time to play them down there.
The season came down to one final game. The Patriots needed a win to get into the postseason. The opponent, a feisty 7-8 Bengals team with second-year quarterback Boomer Esiason and wide receiver Chris Collinsworth. A Bengals team that would win the AFC 3 seasons later.
As for the New England Patriots, oh, what a year it has been for Raymond Berry. First full year as a head coach in the National Football League, and he has got his team on the windowsill of the 1985-86 playoff picture. A near-capacity crowd on hand here at Sullivan Stadium. The temperature, 29 degrees. A 15-mile-an-hour wind. The wind chill is 12 degrees.
December 22nd, Sullivan Stadium. It was an electric atmosphere.
We had Cincinnati at home, and the crowd was raucous. They were rocking.
It was the game that we had to win to make the playoffs. We had to win that game.
After trading early field goals, Tony Eason hit Stanley Morgan for a 50-yard touchdown, and the Patriots were off and running, building a 20-6 lead at halftime.
From the midfield stripe, it is first down. Play action, Eason looking long. He will air it out. For Stanley Morgan, touchdown number 5 this season. His 47th career TD. That, my friends, is a team record here in New England. Touchdown, Patriots. A 9-yard touchdown run for Tony Collins, and it's a play, Sam Ratigliano, that has been around football for as long as I've been around.
It was a misdirected play. They went to James on the right. Collins came to the left for touchdown.
The Bengals would hang around and make it interesting, posting 2 second-half touchdowns and a field goal to close within 4 points.
On 3rd and 9. It is caught. Eddie Brown for the 5. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Backwards pass. James. Did he score? Touchdown, Patriots. Second down and goal, Cincinnati. 5:49 to play in the ball game. Esiason. He throws. Touchdown, Collinsworth.
With just over 2 minutes remaining and New England clinging to a 27-23 lead, the Patriots faced a pivotal 4th down. Raymond Berry stayed aggressive, looking to finish the game on their terms, and Robert Weathers delivered one of the signature moments of the 1985 season.
Short yardage turn, 4th down and a foot. Here's the turn, the handoff, and still going as Robert Weathers down to the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, 15, 10, 5. He's got it all. Touchdown, Robert Weathers. They put the game away. Going for it on 4th down and a foot. They put the game away.
I just noticed that I wasn't getting any playing time, and I just figured I'd just, instead of sulking, I'll just sit over there and wait until my time comes. And Raymond came over to me and saw me there. He said, "Don't worry, you're going to win one for us," and then he walked away. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, man, get out of here, will you?
Against the Bengals, the key play came when Raymond Berry disdained a punt and gambled on 4th down from the 42 with just 2 minutes remaining.
I've heard a lot of people say these kind of things, but I've never really believed them. But it happened to me. I'm sitting over there thinking to myself, man, when I get in the game, I tell you what.
Could easily be the biggest play of the 1985 season for the New England Patriots. Tupu and Weathers, the running backs. That's Weathers. Not only does he have the first down, you can chalk up a touch for New England.
Weathers, let's go. Short yard. I'm like, what? I'm getting up. My legs, the hamstring got ice on them. And so I went in the very same play I saw when I was sitting down is what actually happened. And I couldn't believe it. It just sprung out before me, and a good blocking up front by the offensive line. Greg Harthorne did an excellent job. So did Mosey. So it was amazing.
Everybody at Sullivan Stadium was hoping for a mere 6 inches. Instead, Robert Weathers electrified everyone with 42 yards.
And Robert Weathers on like a 4th and 1, that tremendous run. Raymond was like, go for it. We were all excited. Robert Weathers, who was a 9'4", 100-yard dash guy in high school, broke it in a big run, and, we're in the playoffs.
Weathers took it around the corner, man, and it was over. I think they tore down the stadium, not the stadium, but the goalpost that day, didn't they?
The Patriots won 34-23. and punched their ticket to the playoffs as the exuberant fan base stormed the field, ripping down the goalposts and carrying them right out of the stadium and up Route 1.
And a crowd of 60,000 pouring onto the playing surface here at Foxborough.
During the regular season, beating Cincinnati to even get into the playoffs, and we had to have that victory. I think that was really the biggest one. I still look back. Somebody sent me a picture. It was a black and white picture. I think it was in the Boston Globe, but thousands of people on the field after that game, and the goalpost got torn down on the field. And I was wondering, I said, is that the last time, or has it ever happened since that time, where thousands of people rushed the field and tore goalposts out of a professional football game? I don't know, but I've got proof that we were part of that game that happened.
No, and that was a true let loose moment, if you will. And unfortunately, some people did get hurt. I mean, those goalposts, when they made contact with those high tension wires, that was 2.5 miles down Route 1. It's sort of like, why in God's name didn't the state police look at these guys carrying, a 45-foot long pole down the street? Why wouldn't they have stopped them from doing that? But they didn't, and people got hurt, but fortunately not seriously.
The electrified 1985 New England Patriots were headed to the postseason for the first time since 1978. But as Tony Collins and his teammates knew, it would be a daunting road.
When we beat the Bengals just to get in the playoffs, Raymond Berry said something to us, and he said, okay, we're in the playoffs, so now, okay, what we going to do? I mean, we're the underdog. We have to travel every game. There's no home games for us. So what are we going to do?
The Patriots finished the regular season 11-5. A team that had found its identity. A team that was ready for the next step.
A week ago, they were battling for the AFC Eastern Division title. Today, they were in a fight for their life just to survive and be a part of postseason play.
Next time on the 1985 Super Bowl Sound Odyssey, the playoff road begins with a wild card AFC East rivalry showdown in New York.
For the first time in 3 years, Patriots fans will know the feeling of what the playoffs are all about.